have tactics on point. Nuke is coming up finally. Vitality on the T side, as we expected, and already blowing open the door to fake a potential vent dive, but they're not going to push behind it.
I love Olof picking up the CZ as well in towards the holes. It's such a good angle to hold, and they've actually got a three-man hold on it, Faze, at the moment. Cold, Olof, and Brokey all waiting for it, hoping that they've got the read correct, as Vitality, for the time being, are queuing up for this exact hit that Faze are planning for. So potentially an opportunity to get straight off on the right foot. Apex still with a smoke and a flashbang to his name. Will hope to shut Olof down as the push is starting to come through. The fake's actually going to come through. The nades instead heading towards A as now the fast push comes in. Cold hears the footsteps and makes the call. Brokey gets the first immediate trade and the dinks start to come through. Cold's position still not known and he will just about get the frag onto Alex. That's going to push Vitality back, but Rain has read it beautifully, rips the head off of Shox. And Apex finally there to trade, but the bomb's still got to make its way onto the bomb site and still got to get past Nico, and it doesn't fancy that at all. It's going down towards B.
Bit of a carnage, chaotic start to the round, just all over the place, and Apex will catch Brokey as he tries to transition down towards the ramp side. He also heard and saw a player hop down, which will be coldzera. He had a bit of a mess of a confrontation earlier on, and now he's caught between two separate angles. He needs Nico to help him out, and Nico's missed a whole bunch of bullets. Apex now able to try and stand tall and deliver some headshots, deliver some frags, but the bomb is not planted for him. But there's no kit on Faze either. It's going to be the full 10-second defuse. I'm not sure Apex can get there in time. He can, but he's unable to hit the shot. And he may go down after time, or perhaps not, but the damage has been done. Faze full defusal in the smoke. Vitality feels sick to their stomach.
We're getting quite a few of those ninja diffuses, aren't we? Faze making it happen, and that was just so unfortunate. If the bomb's planted for Apex there, he wins that every single day of the week, but a little miscommunication, a little bit of a misplay gives Faze their first round. Vitality immediately going for the force off the back of that. 2 AKs, a Krieg picked up by ZeuwoKCDZ as well, and that feels like a lot of firepower to be giving a T side with the strength of Vitality. Faze, not the best buy in the world. It never is for your second CT round. Couple of FAMAS, a scout onto Brokey as Nico takes the early contact, but knows he needs to fall back. Can't get caught out in the open, so he's going to rely on Brokey to provide overwatch.
You're talking about all the keys to victory on Nuke for Faze. Winning the first pistol is a huge tick in that box. There are many more obstacles to come up against. One of them is ZeuwoKCDZ wielding the SG. Give him a scope and he will deliver.
Brokey, he could really become crucial here as well. He started with a couple of tags. Apex and Alex have both gone down to 30-ish HP, and that's where those MP9s on Olof and Rain can really come into their own. But at the moment, Vitality maintaining their man advantage, and they've managed to get Apex into upper as well as the rest of the team start a rotation, and this could be an absolutely evil flank. Cole trying to get aggressive on the FAMAS, trying to make something happen, and he might just catch the footsteps. If any noise is made here by Vitality, he can get a read on the play.
That's a good point. He is playing just as much for audio clues as visual. And he's also in prime position for a fast rotation. Olofmeister going to get overwhelmed. A 3-on-5 in favor of Vitality, but 3 of them have been plastered down low HP. In range of Rain's MP9. He may very well just play the time and wait for the rest of his team to get in close enough. And oddly enough, it's actually RPK with a very low HP that deals with him. 8 seconds to go. Brokey, wrong side of the silo and pushes in. Gets peaked at the worst possible moment. coldzera is now here to deliver some fatal blows. And Alex on 32 HP, playing the off angle up the staircase, ripping the head off coldzera. And I said one of the keys to success was winning the pistol. Another one was to convert from there on out, Wolfie. And they have stumbled, they have tripped, and they have face planted.
The conversion not going to happen, and Vitality are going to be able to buy so much off the back of that. Kriegs, AK-47s, everything they could ever want. And Faze, it's a very different story on the CT side. They are going to go for the force, as is the meta these days, but it's 3, 4 deagles, a couple of smokes, 1 HE, and Brokey picking himself up that scout to try and make something happen. How do Faze get back into this one against the buy they are looking at? Apex, the only player with any kind of sacrifice, and you wonder if that MAC-10 is just to try and farm some cash. As Vitality, again, giving Faze the early respect. They are due on these sort of buys, happy not to over-aggress and not give up an early frag, as ZeuwoKCDZ will be able to pick off Rain towards the CT vents.
Yeah, multi-purpose. You don't want to run into a bunch of pistols, but also you want to try and get rid of as much utility as possible by playing slower from Faze, then push them when they're lower on the utility belt in the round. But early encounters hasn't worked horrifically, all things considered, for Faze. After losing the first player, they've done significant damage to Alex and Apex. It's going to keep them at arm's reach. They still have a smoke on Cold Zera, and they still have, by and large, map control. Vitality are sticking together, looking up like they want to push out of the ramp side.
Brokey just falling off the ladder, taking a little bit of damage there, but you make a good point. The Deagles, when there's this kind of damage on the board, becomes so lethal. A one shot to the chest will take Alex or Apex out at this point, and that really makes up for a worrying read if you are a fan of Vitality. And they're taking a very slow, cautious approach. Olof in towards the control room, could pull off a miracle here. The Deagle in his hand will be smoked off, though. And the second smoke towards the double doors. Vitality making no mistakes and being absolutely sure, although Apex straight through the smoke taken out by Olof, leveling the pegging at a 4v4. ZeuwoKCDZ5hJiBX12YBJbhjfLTs has to get the bomb down and will do so, but Faze, they're not out of this round yet.
They're certainly still in this, in with a shout. Vitality's round to lose. I think Faze already opting to save. Of course, it's easy for us to know with the benefit of seeing the HP totals that Alex is incredibly low to death alongside ZeuwoKCDZ5 and very close to death. But from Faze's perspective, you still have some Kevlar to play with. Your economy is still in rough shape. Why not just save these 4 weapons? Why not just come back again in the next round and see if you can make that one stick?
It's an understandable call, and if the information isn't there, if they don't know, right, that Alex is on 18 HP, then you don't go for this push. You keep some firepower. You know you're forced into this round, so you're going to be on an eco in the next. Why not give yourself some Deagles and Scouts rather than default pistols across the board? They are essentially useless on a map like Nuke. So they're going to pick up a few bits and pieces. They won't really look to pad anything further, though. Cold, the only player keeping his armor from the previous, and a smoke to follow suit. And for Vitality, again, just getting through this round cleanly is the goal. Keep all 5 rifles up if you can. More importantly than that, arguably, do not give one of those 3 Kriegs to Faze on the CT side.
Absolutely not. The Krieg can be an utter nightmare in ramp outside. These kind of angles at a longer range. Rain tries to penetrate the smoke. Not much damage as they'll hop across down into secret. Alex with double. They double peek him, and they are punished.
That's the Krieg in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's those kind of ranges where it really does shine. And, I mean, Faze can feel a little bit disappointed that it could be possible they don't take many guns away. But, of course, they have their own rifle round coming up next, so they can focus on that.
Olof going to take a few tags. Leg spotted, but still able to find the headshot onto RPK and perhaps a small consolation prize as he's actually looking for more here. Looking to challenge Apex, though. Able to get the better of him and take him out as just Cold and Brokey make that just Brokey remain. Alex, his 3rd eco frag, and Brokey going to be able to find the tag on the Scout, but that will cause Apex to just run away in fear. Knows, of course, that he won't want to give this rifle up. Alex, switching down, will get another tag, and actually Brokey going to find himself the frag onto Apex before he's pincered in by Alex. So a couple of players taken down, and it's actually 2 Kriegs taken down as well by the CT side. So that's quite good. It's the extra $250 investment that Vitality are going to be having to make.
Certainly is true. They are swimming in money by and large, however. Apex replenishes his SG. He's down to around the $1,000 mark, as is RPK. Everyone else is just fine for now. Faze, only the 1 kit, but a healthy dosage of nades and plenty of weaponry that they can really get behind and try and utilize. The downside is, though, that we're already in that kind of position, Wolfie, where they've won the pistol, they've lost 3 subsequent rounds, where the pressure is starting to mount, and we're only just starting off Nuke.
You can already feel it on the Faze side of things as Shox manages to get through the gap in the smoke and manages to get in towards Secret as well. Vitality looking like a well-oiled machine so far on Nuke, and somebody really has to stand up and throw a spanner in the works for Faze. Nico, on the off angle, will be able to find his first pick from behind the blue shipping container, taking out Apex for his first frag of this game. As Alex starts to make his way down and Shox, the backup plan, the pressure release valve is going to be utilized down in towards the holes. Brokey already here and kicking towards the double doors with an opportunity to find another frag and really start to put that pressure back on the T side.
Already getting Towards downstairs, though, our Vitality. Shock's going to be making moves in decon. Olof would have heard that. Strangely enough, no one even peers up on the catwalk, and they're going to get punished. LTC spraying them down with the M4, alleviating the pressure and turning it back on to Vitality. An exquisite 3K. Faze, I don't even think lost a single point of health. So that is doing the world of good to their finances.
They absolutely needed that as well. You could feel the pressure already, and to get through a round so cleanly just puts that pressure back on Vitality. It takes it off of Faze. They can now try and play their more natural game, try and get some of those big fraggers showing up. Vitality, though, they have plenty of cash in the bank, so they will invest fully into this one. 4 Kriegs, the AK only picked up by Shocks. They're going to look to try and punish Faze again. A fast play can be caught out by Nico, who gets good damage onto Apex and Alex. And now Rain looks to capitalize. The frags start to favor Faze. 3 in quick succession. Rain runs out of bullets, though, and Apex grabs himself a double 2-on-2. Nico taking damage through the smoke. It's a frenetic start, but Vitality, they've got a perfect opportunity to get this bomb down here.
It's that man, Apex. No fear. Holding down W, getting in the face of Faze. LTC's had a cracking start to nuke. He's going to be called upon again. There's still plenty of time allocated to Vitality. They don't have to worry about forcing this plant down. They have no idea as to where these two are. Now they've found out. It's at the cost of Apex's life. They're using 2 separate layers of verticality to skew with Shocks. If they double peek him, it's going to be very hard for Shocks to land both, but they're going to peek him one by one, and he so nearly gets it done. Faze. Oh my goodness, that heart just skipped a beat. I have no doubt at all that Nico, he may need a couple of moments here to just collect himself.
If Nico wasn't crouched down there, Shocks does that. His crosshair was inches above the head of Nico, and just about for Faze. They get through the ordeal, and they will force Vitality into a little bit of an awkward situation. They're going to have to fall back onto that half by the Deagles, the utility coming out. They have invested fairly heavily in the nades as well. Molotov picked up by ZywOo. 2 flashes, a smoke, and a HE onto RPK to break that door. There it goes. Let's see what Vitality have got in store. Looks like they want to go quickly again. RPK straight through the Molotov, but manages to get into the vents. And this fast play down towards the B bomb site by RPK is read beautifully. Nico up on the catwalk, denies the bomb plant. And what do the rest of Vitality do now? That bomb is dropped down on the B bomb site.
2 main ways to play outside. You either occupy it or you completely give it up and play downstairs. Great call from Vitality. They weren't expecting Apex, though, with a Deagle to show himself. ZywOo, good luck to you getting a kill through that metal girder with a P250. LTC, free kill onto Alex. And Vitality, you could see what they were going for. You could see just a bomb plant would have been excellent, but maybe Apex can get this done. Not known for his AWPing ability, so he's like, here's like, we have this one, mate. You are far superior. Let me do what I do best, and that's get up in their face and try and carve away, carve a path for you. But ZywOo's been found by coldzera, and Nico is going to chime in to get Faze in the lead one more time.
And all things considered, that's a really clean round again by Faze. They lose 1 player, sure, to Apex, getting that Deagle in the backstab. But once the AWP goes onto ZywOo, they deal with it quickly and effectively. They don't allow anything to spiral out of control. They don't give ZywOo those situations that we've seen him excel in so many times. So they shut him down quickly. Vitality will be able to get the buy coming into this one. No T-sided AWP for ZywOo, however, as he has to resign himself to the Krieg. And Faze is starting to build up a little bit of cash now as well. You can see them starting to feel like potentially there's a map for the taking here.
Nice tapping. Good work onto Apex, who is looking to try and break the outside defense. Shocks is going down next. Nico, we called on him. We said he's not had a great tournament. He's had a couple of quiet maps. It seems like Nuke is his playground, that he's decided this is my house. And you're not welcome here. ZywOo's just holding the angle. I actually like this. Trying to see if maybe they go for a re-engage and try and peek out for information. If he does, it could open up some business into heaven. And that's where things get a little bit shaky for Vitality.
Everybody just taking a pause, and it's going to be the counter-aggression coming in from Faze. Cold and Rain walking into the crosshairs. RPK, though, only able to take out the first. Gets the tag onto Rain and nothing more. It will at least allow ZywOo into heaven, and he's got to capitalize as Nico's taking his teammate out. Can't quite find the spray, and Nico is really starting to show up now. 10-3 as Faze get their 5th round on the board, and we asked him to start showing up in the server. He is doing exactly that.
A 4K in the round, 119 ADR. And in that round, pretty much just picked off Apex outside, fell back, got another kill, completely stalled the outside push, basically had control over main as well as a result of his presence being there. And they'll need far more of that from NiKo if they want to try and get this close and into a third map. He's now going to go looking into the squeaky door. There's a slight gap in the smoke, but that flashbang is going to allow them safe passage. The gap has now been filled in. However, he does realize that they're pushing down Secret. The call will come through to Rain, who does spray into the head of Shox. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome. They have a good crossfire established on the B site. They're okay to give up all this control because they know that when it comes to the firepower, they are well and truly in the lead. And Cold Sarah spray down with the SG. Can't get too excited. It was an eco round, basically, but still Faze, they're getting it done.
They are slowly turning the cogs to find the victory here on Nuke, and those two Kriegs finding 4 of the 5 frags in the round. I hate to keep going back to how powerful the Krieg is, but it is just a tank of a weapon on the CT side. And as Vitality call the timeout, they've got some decisions to make. They can invest to this one, but the strategies they've been pulling out on the full buys have stopped working, right? They've stopped finding that consistency. After winning the force buy against the pistol win of Faze, they get a couple on the board, and they haven't won a round since. So something has to change, and it looks like that something is ZywOo going for the glass cannon on the AWP to try and be the catalyst for Vitality.
I'm curious on what his spawn is like. Is he at the front? No, he's not at the front. He's about halfway through at the back. So it's not even a case of I've got a great spawn for ramp or, you know, squeaky door, let me have a quick peek and see if I can get a pick for you. This is just purely, look, I've been kind of played off the server here. FaZe have done a great job of countering me. Let me get back in the fight. Let me try and inflict some presence. He had a slow start on Mirage, and we all know how that turned out. Don't write him off just yet. He can easily bounce back into this.
Yeah, and that's the credit to ZywOo, is that he can pick up these rifles, and then when he's having a quiet series, he just goes, okay, now I'll go on to my favorite gun in the game, and we'll see how that works out. So he's going to take the AWP towards outside initially. Not going to find the early peak. As you said, Vince doesn't have the best spawn in the world, so instead going to be resigned to playing relatively passively in the early engagements. Brokey on that secondary AWP, actually over towards B, so there's no AWP training down on outside, and potentially an avenue of opportunity for ZywOo.
It's been pretty typical from FaZe thus far that they've given up outside control by and large. NiKo is playing more passively, just looking for scouting, for information. Now, what could be a cool twist is if FaZe eventually do take an aggressive play where they send 2 players outside, up close on the red container and underneath silo. That could be maybe something to watch out for, to completely catch Vitality unaware. But Apex, getting into Garage, all of this map control, Wolfie, but they're yet to get on a site, and they have 30 seconds to go. Vitality have got to get a move on.
The clock's starting to become their enemy here as they try and make their way down towards this B bomb site. FaZe's presence really limited there in Apex. He's just trying to buy time. He's trying to prevent the rotations from this CT side, and he may well have done it here. They need to get this bomb down with 15 seconds left on the clock. Otherwise, FaZe can just play to deny, and it is going to be Shox to try and land it. NiKo takes out Apex towards outside, but that's the sacrifice Vitality make. They get the bomb down, a 5-on-4 retake. Alex sets himself up in the afterplant positions. They're good for Vitality, but ZywOo, he needs to hit this initial shot. Olof, he's going to go for this peek, and ZywOo ever so patiently waiting, fully blinded off of it. Now FaZe start to swarm, and he spots out the crosshairs, but can't do anything. Rain to take ZywOo out, 5-on-3. Alex misses the shot as Brokey comes in with the 1 deke. RPK can only find the first, and it's on to Shox. 2 quick headshots, a 1 versus 2 to play with. He looks for the diffuser, can't quite find it. Rain looks to stick it. Olof just body blocking. Shox with the first headshot. Shox with the second, but it's not quick enough. Shox so close, but FaZe through Rain, they stick the diffuse, and they find round number 7.
What an attempt by Shox. He had no idea they were just sticking the diffuse. Olofmeister did a really good job of keeping him interested, but the downside there is Vitality get onto the site. They have post-plant. They had 2 flashes between the 4 of them. They could do nothing about that onslaught. You saw the utility from FaZe on the retake. You can scratch what Shox did. That was beautiful. He deserved to win the round. But on another day, they just get banged out. Not a single player from FaZe dies because they'd already expended everything they had.
And that's the issue. Vitality, they're leaving it very, very late at the moment. ZywOo looking to make a flusher for himself as he just crosshairs on through the smoke. Doesn't quite connect, though, and Shox Again, getting this early secret control, but Faze have been happy to give it, right? They've been happy to let that player fall through. Olof's taken his position up on the catwalk down towards B. Brokey, now with a job to do, will take down ZeuwoKCDZ to open things up. Pot flash through, but Brokey's got to fall off the angle, managing the retreat really well. And Shox with a huge job to do here. He has to be the thorn in the back of Faze. Brokey opens the door and Shox, oh, he's thinking about it. He's going to go straight through. Brokey looking the wrong way, but Olof's got his back. 5 on 3 now for Vitality, and Faze are looking strong towards B. Another frag, not quite coming, but Brokey still alive and kicking with a quick double on the AWP. That's 3 in the round for the young AWPer, and he's showing up in a huge way as Alex. He's desperate to get any kind of a recovery, but he's got to find a 1v4.
Asking so much. Time, though, is on his side. The bomb position, however, is not. Looking to try and one-tap himself back in. And all those kills that Brokey had should, in brackets, say Olof. Because Olof saved his ass so badly there. He should have been a dead man, and he gets 2 kills. So later on, Brokey, buy Olof a drink.
It's just the setup on that B bomb site from Faze. When they get Olof and Brokey down there early, it looks so strong. The only times Vitality have had success is when they haven't rotated down to that B bomb site. Olof and Brokey are absolutely locking it out right now. And the statistics show the same. NiKo putting up a performance and a half, as well as, once again, Vitality down onto this half by Alex, looking to go quickly, but it's straight through a Molotov into a bunch of flashbangs, and Rain's going to help himself to a freebie on the double and make that a triple. Brokey chimes in with one more. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you deal with a half-buy rush.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you deal with Vitality's T-side. You choke them out. You pretty much were in a position here where Faze were 3-1 behind, and we thought, you know, we're rolling our eyes saying, here we go again. Vitality about to steamroll and stomp on Nuke. Faze have just won the last 8 rounds in a row, and many of them have been rifle rounds. That is so impressive.
It feels like Vitality are almost running out of ideas a little bit. They keep running the same thing when they have the rifle buy. They keep sending Shox down towards B, and then they try and take that Hall's control. They try and make something happen off the back of it, and it's just not working. And you do look at the players who are showing up. You look at NiKo, you look at Rain, Colt's having a good game as well. And everybody who we said didn't show up on map 1 and didn't have a performance that they necessarily should be proud of, they've come through massively, and it really has just reinvigorated Faze. They're 9-3 up. They're stopping everything Vitality are looking to do at the moment. And honestly, the French side, they look a little bit out of ideas.
I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen more timeouts actually called from Vitality to just try and swell the hemorrhage that is going on. coldzera nearly lining up 2 of them. RPK, though, going in with entries. Good to see that he's going to have some impact in this round. Another retake could be coming in. NiKo will be bitterly disappointed he didn't get the mana. Shox, who goes in for seconds. Brokey caught out in the open with very little chance of doing anything. And now Olof, 1 on 4. Tags, but no kills. Vitality have at least stemmed that 8-round win streak. And they're still in position here, Wolfie. You know, momentum's been pretty rough. We've been discussing how things have slipped away. If they can get a 9-6 half, that's still solid on the T side.
And I like the timeout from Faze as well. Don't give them any opportunity to roll on that momentum. And I think we gave them a bit of a caster's curse there, Vince. I spoke about 2 or 3 players, and then
Classic.
They all missed their angels. So it's a little unfortunate for Faze, but it's a good use of the timeout again. Don't allow Vitality to get back into this game. Completely stall that momentum from that round. That round doesn't matter anymore, right, for Faze. They just need to take these remaining 2, keep piling that pressure on Vitality, and don't let them breathe.
I think both teams realize the importance of this round with so much on the table. Faze could extend their lead to an 11-4 half, which would be sublime against Vitality's Nuke, but put them in a pole position to go to Inferno. Vitality, in the meanwhile, as I said, if they can pull these next 2 rounds back at a 9-6, is completely anybody's game. This a real important moment in this best of 3 for both teams. Both teams have solid purchases, and NiKo is going aggressive. I said to watch for these kinds of plays, and that grenade alongside it has just chunked and chipped Vitality. And you can see they have no idea, but ZeuwoKCD spins around. NiKo waited to see if there was more players pushing, and that just gets him completely silenced.
How many times have we spoken about his X Factor and NiKo? The trigger discipline was so nice. He had everything going his way, but he still gets taken down by the man that is ZywOo, and that's going to give Vitality the man advantage to try and spring off of. They've actually bailed out of the B aggression once they work out Brokey's location, and instead they're going to try and spin around towards A, relatively freely given up by Faze as Alex then ZywOo find frags, and this round is starting to fall apart. We said it was crucial, and the frags are just all going Vitality. Finally, Brokey gets something to write home about, but it's a consolation frag at the end of the day. Vitality will have 5, and how much differently could this round have gone if NiKo didn't get taken out by ZywOo?
Nice action. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Brokey's going to make it a bit of a scary situation. Vitality, in the meanwhile, though, are going to steady their nerves and steady the ship. But absolutely. The thing is, though, I think if you're going to go for a play like that, you need to have a 2-man hit squad in there. You need to give yourself as good an opportunity as possible. Now, NiKo is very unlucky. Against 99.9% of other players out there, he gets a kill at least, maybe 2 or 3. But it's ZywOo. And you have to accommodate that, right? You have to realize that's a potential possibility. So a bit unfortunate. You can see what they're going for. It's also, I always love to see these tactics that are kind of being positioned 4, 5, or 6 rounds in advance. It's kind of sad to see it not work out for him.
Again, NiKo going for the aggression, but Shox has completely bypassed him here to get into the site, and he's going to find the first headshot. RPK finds the second, and NiKo's position, as of yet unknown, could be huge. He takes down Alex, he takes down Shox, can't quite find the third on the spray down, though, as Brokey and olofmeister will have to try and find the retake. An MP9 and an AWP, although there are guns on the ground for Olof to try and retrieve. He's looking in towards Mini as well, trying to find whatever he can. Vitality looking set to take that 9-6 half that we spoke about, and that is going to put everything back in the balance. ZywOo forced down by the Molotov, but he's happy to dive down the vent. He will just wait, pop up, and go for, I'm sure, some more no-scopes with the AWP. All the utility being dumped. Faze desperate to get something going. Brokey finds one, but it's immediately traded, and Olof gives away his position with the spray down. The Molotov will force RPK out, and it's going to do the damage as well. ZywOo, the last man alive, but time is running out for Olof, and he knows it, desperately looking for a wallbang, but there's no more time on the clock. It's going to be Vitality with round number 6, and it is all to play for before this second half.
Oh yes, we're in that spicy
same mistakes. Don't lose the force buy coming in from Vitality here. It's always harder on the CT side to make those half buy work, but they're going for a very heavy investment. 3 MP9s, a P250 for RPK. We all know what he can do with those, and a CZ for Alex. A little bit of utility to work with as the SMGs and the rifles come out for Faze.
This is risky. This certainly is. But it could pay off in spades. RPK with a deagle, P250, pardon me. Doesn't really make any difference to how the round's going to end, or perhaps not. Alex has landed himself a headshot, and he now has control over the bomb. He's going to move back. I really love this play from Alex. This is where the cerebral aspect of this player. You expect him to stay with the bomb after he's dropped it. You could see what he was looking to do, just so unlucky. That is the definition of an NT in chat, by the way. That was such a nice effort. I feel sad for him.
The timing just wasn't quite there, was it? Every time it looked like he could have got a glimpse of a bit of Nico, he just completely missed it. And then Nico gets the backstab and the easy frag as well. So Vitality going to be going on to a almost entirely full eco. They do pick up a few upgraded pistols, 3 deagles, a P250, RPK helping himself to a little bit of armor as well after that P250 kill. So they're not out of this round yet, but I would say ideally they take those 2 Kriegs away, right? They get a couple of 1 deags, you steal the Kriegs at range, and then you go and nab them at the very death of the round. That's Vitality's dream beyond winning this.
I think even then they realize while dreaming it's not going to happen. That light at the end of the tunnel is likely a train ready to bulldoze them. Vitality in the meanwhile, though, going to stay concentrated towards the middle of the map. Again, we did discuss this on the first day, that if you're going to go into these eco rounds, at least try and do something a little bit spicy. Try and catch the enemy off guard. Don't just play default. You're not going to get anything done with, by and large, a save. You're going to go outside and try and peek. Coldzera going to pick up the first kill. There is a bit of damage being inflicted across the Faze, so maybe they can make this sting. In terms of picking up these weapons, it's unlikely unless they continue to land 1 deags. So this is now getting so sketchy for Faze.
A 2v2, and there's so many rifles down outside as well. It's a question of, are Vitality brave enough to go for them Apex? Not thinking about it, instead is going to go for the vent divers. RPK does manage to get his hands on a Krieg, and crucially, he's the player with armor for Vitality, so he has by far the greatest chance of making something happen. Olof and Brokey, though, they've read it pretty well. They're going to instead head up towards that A bomb site. Olof going with the flank all the way through to heaven, as Brokey should be able to get this bomb down. 20 seconds left on the clock. Vitality will know soon enough that it is going to be this A site hit, and it's a question of how much more can they get done.
We should have never been in this situation in the first place, Wolfie, but now they've got to finish the job. RPK, fortunate that was just a Mach 10 at range. Effectively a P shooter, not doing too much damage. RPK now going to be running in with his SG, but Brokey, well played with the AK-47. Going to be tossing across the extra SG just in time. But I got to say, Vitality, that was a hell of an effort. You should have never been in a 2v2 retake, considering the weaponry disparity.
Oh yeah, 3 quick kills, and they've ruined Faze's economy as well, right? So if they win this round, Faze are going to be in such an awful position, and they're potentially going to be looking at an immediate eco. They've only got 2 players with any real cash in the bank. So ZeuwoK goes for it, AWP comes out, and a full buy across the CT side. Vitality will know they've built themselves an opportunity off the back of that previous round, and it's all about if they can convert now. Apex taking a little bit of early damage, but he won't be concerned with that whatsoever, playing in towards Mini. And the fast push towards outside does start to come through. The execute with utility, looking to drag those CT rotations down towards the B bomb site.
Dragging them, kicking and screaming. The bulk of Vitality, though, are going to stay on the upper portion of the map. It's just Alex that's fell down. Couldn't be joined very quickly by Shox, who's playing the ramp role. Brokey and the rest of Faze starting to make inroads now. They still have olofMhsezeuwoKCDZ5hJiBX12YBJbhjfLTs, who was trying to keep them interested over on the A side of the map. Rain making moves. They're going to be able to hear the pitter-patter of footsteps downstairs. And now Vitality going to try and mount a defense. The sledgehammer has been busted out, though, from ZeuwoK as he demolishes olofMhsezeuwoKCDZ5hJiBX12YBJbhjfLTs. Nico counteracts. Smoke and Molotov have been deployed on the ramp. There was a slight gap in there, but it's going to work against Shox. I thought initially it may actually help him. And now Brokey, hot off the back of getting a frag, the bomb will now get planted down. And Vitality seemingly like have no interest in playing any further part in this round.
They've got to back off and go for the 3-man save. Their economy is absolutely in tatters. And I said there was an opportunity here to break Faze, but they are the team that have come out stronger and managed to take the round with 4 players kept alive, 4 Kriegs at that. Vitality have to go for the 3-man save. And at this point, with Faze 3 rounds away from stealing this map and taking us to Inferno, Vitality are really going to need something special. Someone has to step up and be counted here.
The sad part is that ZywOo has been countered pretty hard. I mentioned before about Nuke being the kind of map where it is a feast or famine kind of map as far as I'm concerned. The fact is, this star player who dropped 32 kills, who had over 120 ADR on Mirage, is now 9 and 13 with 55 ADR. These are stats we're not expecting to see from ZywOo, but it hasn't even been him playing bad here, Wolfie. FaZe have just done an exquisite job of just dealing with him. This is something that Astralis historically were great at doing. They played against someone like Simple. They had the right smokes. They had the right utility to just fend and fob them off. And it feels like ZywOo is just being slowly but surely choked out of this best of 3.
They're shutting him down beautifully so far, but it is ZywOo. There is always the opportunity, that spark of genius in him to try and find the round. FaZe with the very strong full buy, going to go for the early execute. All their utility being dumped onto this A bomb site, and it's going to be Rain to get the early opening, but not clearing out RPK, who gets the immediate trade, and now ZywOo comes in. RPK with the double, finally shut down by Olof, but already the flank looking to come in, beautifully read by coldzera to take down Shox. A 2-on-2, make that 2-on-1 for Olof Meister, as the bomb lost in the middle of that A bomb site. He's got the time to play with, but he's got to try and isolate these 1v1s.
As you say, though, time at the moment is his ally, but it is a fickle ally. It will turn tail. It will stab him in the back if he allows it to do so. He is looking for all the angles to try and cover off. The downside about being up here is he has to inevitably make noise on his way down, but the only noise will be his body dropping, with ZywOo putting him out of his misery. 13-7, you said they needed a hero. It seemed to be RPK in that round. That double frag was huge. I
like the idea from FaZe as well. They just wanted to go quickly, perhaps catch Vitality off. It doesn't quite work out, but they know they've got a few rounds to play with, right? They've got a little bit of a buffer. Their economy is going to allow them to buy decently coming into this one. Brokey takes the sacrifice onto the Deagle, which is interesting considering he's their highest fragging player. And Olof drops down onto the MAC-10, but perhaps even more importantly, the Krieg's been given up to Alex as FaZe again look to go quickly again, call upon RPK, but it's only the one frag this time, immediately traded as the A bomb site is cracked open. FaZe the second time of asking make it work, and Vitality will have to come from outside.
Such an effective rush as well, whereas when Vitality did this, they only had 2 flashes left. There's so much more utility, but they're not counting on the aggression from heaven. And ZywOo swoops in with his AWP, puts Nico in his place. He's had a slow start, but if ZywOo can turn through the gears, he could be what Vitality are looking for to make this comeback a reality. The bomb still hasn't been planted. In amongst all the frenzy and all the carnage, Molotov into heaven buys them up enough time to plant and then relocate into retake positions. Brokey stays in the same spot, probably trying to catch ZywOo off guard. He goes in for a pop flash. Alex is going to help him out, and that puts Brokey on the back foot. The youngster has got to try and deal with 2 separate avenues of aggression, and ZywOo, with 2 kills in the round, is going to give Vitality another one just about. It comes off the back of another defuse, though.
I said I liked the idea in the previous round, and I liked it even more this time. Just 2 straight rushes to try and catch Vitality off guard, but the X factor that is ZywOo bailing them out with Alex in tow. Quick frags and finding that 2-on-2 retake absolutely crucial, as we now see FaZe calling for the timeout. They know now their economy isn't in the greatest of places. They're going to be down onto the half buy and potentially just looking to take rifles away, and this is where Vitality really start to get scary.
Hence the tactical timeout. Just try and slow things down for FaZe, or perhaps not. Perhaps slow is the antithesis of what they want to go for with 2 MAC-10s, with 2 AKs. Are we going to see another rush? Are we going to see FaZe show no fear, push into the hearts of Vitality, and try and plunge that dagger deep?
This buy screams fast play, doesn't it? Cold and Brokey go out first with the MAC-10s. Olof and Nico back them up with the AKs to trade, but We will have to wait and see. It's actually going to be Brokey, the first point of contact, as he throws the nades, and he is going to go very, very quickly. The Molotov not going to deter him. He's straight through, but taken out by Apex. RPK gets the second. And how many times will FaZe go quickly to their death? Nico's feet spotted out by Alex. That's the third. And Olof and Rain with a Deagle and an AK make that just the AK of Olof. And FaZe, I'm sorry, but you've tried it too many times now.
So we'll do the same next round then, boys, yeah? Rush A again, let's go. Olofmeister, he's not done just yet. He's got a couple things to say. And he will impose his will onto Alex to start things off. Still time and the control of the bomb. So as far as 1v5 clutches go, this isn't the worst scenario to be in. But the positions on Vitality are looking pretty damn good. They have every angle covered. They now know where Olof is. He can expect a flank to be coming around the back. Now, something I mentioned before, even in the days where his performance individually skill-wise dropped off, he was always a very intelligent player. His in-game IQ has always been very high, so this is where you're expecting him to try and rummage around the back. Now, this will catch at least one player off guard. The downside of being this many players behind though in a 1v4, even if you do get the drop on one, instantly you're going to have multiple weapons pointed in your direction. 25 seconds now to go. He's still looking, hoping to find a pixel, which he can do something with. I'm not sure how Apex survived, because that looked like a headshot to me with the AK, but, you know, whatever.
Sure thing. It looked like it was, and it looked like he was owed at least one frag, right? Olof played that so well. He got behind everybody on Vitality. He was owed something, but he can't quite cash the check, and as Vitality slowly but surely get closer, it will be phased down onto very slim pickings. Rain and Nico picking up Deagles, but that's about the sum of it at this point. And I do love the idea of Janko behind them just going, okay, one more rush. It will work this time, I promise.
but no, Janko, please not. Do it. He could be an intimidating guy. That's why a lot of people liked him going into Faze, to keep Nico in check to a degree, plus they are very friendly with each other, respect each other a great deal. But I'm delighted to see that we're not going to see another A rush. I'm sure Vitality are pretty sad about that.
Oh, they would have happily taken another one, but instead it will be an early tag onto Apex, traded back with a nade onto Olof, and Shox going to be tested early on here on the angle, finds a couple more tags. Faze just queuing up at the moment, perhaps looking to overwhelm one or two of these rifles, but if there's anybody you want to be running into, it very definitely isn't Shox. As he takes down Olof, he's getting all this information, all the reads he could possibly want, and ZeuwoKCDZ has even come to back him up at this point. A 5-on-4, and Faze, they know they need to change the playbook. They can't just keep running into these players, but the tags at range aren't working either.
Oh, Brokey, right idea. Bit of damage. I think it was Alex on the other side of the hut wall. He's now backed away with 58 HP. What I find kind of interesting, just to talk over this round, is it's likely going to go the way of Vitality with such a poor buy, is if they did kind of set up for another potential rush, they naded the door, they got some smokes out, but then actually pushed outside or ramp. So actually used that as a potential fake pivot point. Shox spraying him down, bomb dropped, round is pretty much done. It's just going to be tied up momentarily, and it is that man Shox who gets another 4K.
Yeah, I like the idea, and I think it could really work as well, because it's happened so many times in a row now. Vitality fall for the early play, and then maybe you catch a couple of players in rotation. You catch the isolated 1v1 towards outside. Instead, you get absolutely obliterated, and Vitality draw ever closer. Like the Grim Reaper over your shoulder, they get themselves to 10. And the buy will come in for Faze. It will be the 3 Kriegs this time, 2 AK-47s in tow. But Vitality really start to feel like they're reeling Faze in at this point.
Still 3-round lead, though, on the side of Faze. They have decided to completely give up any aggression on A. The thing is, though, even though Vitality have been very successful at repelling those pushes, it is at least going to keep them on their tiptoes. At any given round, they could be seeing another A rush. That is going to force them to use a bit of utility at the start of rounds. It's going to force them to keep at least 2 players on the A site, which should, in theory, put other positions on the map a little bit thinly spread. Now, we can see that ZeuwoKCDZ is playing ramp alone with the AWP. It's actually a 2-player stack at the top of Secret. This is not something you see very often. Now, if Faze go into Secret, this could be a bloodbath.
Luckily for Faze, at the moment, they're starting to toy with the idea of hitting this A-bomb site again. They've got one player back towards spawn in the upper area to throw the nades through the skylights, and that will try and open up the peaks. RPK a little bit isolated at the moment. Apex not able to rotate in before the smoke fades. It's going to be cold to find first blood, but Apex straight through the smoke finds the dink on the second, takes out Olof for his trouble, and that nade may well finish the job for him. Indeed it will. 3 on 3. Vitality again requiring a retake, a mistake from Shox, but Alex's Molotov bails him out. And a 2-on-2 for ZeuwoKCDZ and Alex, the two heroes of Vitality. Bomb not yet down, and the clock's starting to tick away for Faze.
ZeuwoKCDZ's success rate today in clutches has been exceptionally high, and as you say, he has some good shoulders to bounce off on Alex, but the kill goes against him. NiKo is there with the AK. ZeuwoKCDZ inspects his knife because that's the only ally he has now. Everyone else has ditched him. They've all abandoned him. And the Frenchman is going to go downstairs to see what he can find. Be careful what you wish for, though. NiKo is hiding in the shadows.
He so nearly caught that timing onto NiKo as well, but ZeuwoKCDZ up on the catwalk, he's got to clear everything, and with NiKo wedged into that corner, no utility to bail him out. ZeuwoKCDZ, surely there is no way. He needs to tap the bomb, he needs to bait the peak from somewhere, and NiKo actually is going to swing, spots out the shoulder of ZeuwoKCDZ and will finish the job. Faze finally get their T-side back on track. There was a brief resistance from Vitality, and that is going to give them the economy to buy again as they call for another timeout and try and work out how they could stop Faze from taking us to Inferno.
I think what ZeuwoKCDZ was going for there, because it seemed kind of odd. He was just kind of sat at the top of the catwalk. There's two main things. Either he assumed it was an A plant and was like, I'm just going to try and save downstairs. Still wouldn't really make that much sense because you're going to take damage there. Or he's thinking, their economy's pretty bad here, Faze. You can see, even after winning that round, they've pretty much depleted all of their funds. They have very little money in the bank. If he can take an extra weapon or two or make the bomb do the work for them, their economy is good enough to buy again anyway. So it's kind of strange he's just sat there with like 3 seconds to go on the bomb detonating. I think there was maybe more at play. To give him the benefit of doubt, it could have been that he derped, but I'm going to be positive. I'm going to give him kudos.
Give him something. I think you're probably right. It feels like ZeuwoKCDZ doesn't just sort of sit and let the bomb detonate, does it? There's always a play behind it, and as you said, Faze's economy not great. Olof is going to have to drop down onto the Mach 10 as he makes his way towards the B holes, and Faze again slowing down the initial play, and that's been where they found most of their success, is when they haven't immediately barreled into a rush and have forced Vitality into some very awkward retakes.
Yeah, you can see again the impact it would have had. If he was able to take those two players with him, you'd have more SMGs, you'd probably have some pistols, or maybe even Galils. It hurts to even say that out loud. ZeuwoKCDZ, though, gonna break the deadlock. And NiKo, who's had so much success outside, is now on the receiving end of the battery.
That's a lovely frag to find as well. Just as soon as you lose that round, put the pressure back. Alex spots out 2 heads, but won't be able to commit to the fight. Knows that he doesn't want to give up the advantage that ZeuwoKCDZ has worked so hard for his team to get. And now it all becomes about the timing. ZeuwoKCDZ drops down just as this hit starts to come in, and RPK is going to be called into question once more behind the silos. He has Apex in support, very aggressive towards the T-vents, but so nearly gets caught with the flashbang out. Now he pounces. Olof gets one. Olof gets the second, but RPK stands strong. The frags just about coming through. A triple for RPK to give the 1v1. Brokey versus Shox. Young versus old, and Brokey spots him out, finds the headshot. Map point Faze.
And a 3K to boot, not just map point, but 5 of them. Looking like they're going to trade maps. Vitality's fortress, it turns out, had weak foundations, and it's starting to crumble all around them. To make matters worse, their bank was front and center in said fortress, and all their money's gone up in flames. They have 1 M4, 2 FAMASs, a UMP, and ZeuwoKCDZ, the best player on the team skill-wise, has the Desert Eagle. Now, he can make that Desert Eagle sing for him, but you'd like to see him with maybe an M4 instead.
You'd hope that somebody would take the loss for Vitality, wouldn't you, and just drop him something powerful, but Vitality, they really are on the ropes now. You said Faze were holding on by a thread. Well, they have clambered their way up and given themselves an opportunity to shut this one down, to take us to Inferno, to separate these two teams and decide who is going home. Vitality, though, not going to be done yet. This is their home ground, and as everyone knows, a team on their home ground can be lethal. An M4 for Shox, 2 FAMAS, And a UMP for Alex the Bite, it just doesn't look good for Vitality whatsoever. How can they make this work? They have to sit passively. They have to wait. Alex and Apex, they will set up in aggressive angles initially and just hope that somebody from Faze walks into those crosshairs.
Still enough confidence as well from Vitality to retain most of their smokes. Faze playing slow to try and bait out as many of these as possible, but they still hold 4. One has just been tossed alongside another. Now they're starting to deploy the smokes. That's going to buy up valuable time, though, for potential retakes and rotations of certain angles. Shock's going to be taking a separate encounter. Spamming up through the smoke, now falling back. Have Faze taken too much time to get in position? ZeuwoKCDZ through the double doors, going to take an AK-47, instantly goes back up towards A. 18 seconds to go, and Faze is starting to make a move onto the B site. Shock's with the M4, is there alongside the AK. Have Faze shot themselves in the foot? It would appear so, but with a bazooka. They've absolutely wrecked themselves. They're not even getting through onto the site yet. This round is done. Faze, what the actual hell just happened?
You cannot make those mistakes. Yes, you have 5 map points. Yes, you have 5 possibilities to shut it down. But that arguably is going to be the best one you have. The buy was rough. The players didn't have anything to work with. And Faze just run the clock down as they do take a timeout. They could have done with that extra 30 seconds in the previous round, but it puts them in such an awkward situation, right? You've got your 3 players with rifles now. Rain is on 1900, Cold's on 32. You've gifted Vitality a lifeline back into this. You've given Alex a Krieg. You've given ZeuwoKCDZ an AK. The list of mistakes just keeps on reading out for Faze.
A lot of that does come down to Vitality, though. I don't want to just throw Faze in the bus, although that was terrible. But Vitality, as I said, held on to 4 smokes with 45 seconds left. Now, when you know a team has a low economy, you know they're in a force buy scenario where pistols, UMPs, these kind of weapons come in, pushing through smokes is a death sentence.
Yeah.
But I feel like it got in their head too much. It was almost like in their minds, the smokes were brick walls. And they were just unable to push through. So let's see how they bounce back. Vitality still need to save 4 rounds.
They still need to shut down 4 more to take us to overtime here on map 2. The early damage is going to be done, though. Nico down to 8 HP. He's still going to find the frag through the smoke onto Alex, and that Krieg I spoke about is gone immediately. That is exactly the start Faze would have hoped for. The damage has been done nonetheless. Nico down to 8 points of health, but he's going to switch out to the Galil. He'll give coldzera the Krieg to work with. And Faze, perhaps that is the opportunity they need to capitalize on.
For all of Vitality's efforts in the previous round, does Alex throw this one away early on? Are we heading to Inferno after all? One of the best maps in the pool, certainly the best for deciders. But Faze can't assume that is the result just yet. They still have got to put the work in. Molotov onto Secret's going to stop Nico from pushing in. It's an angle you expect to get spammed up from through the smoke, so he has to get in there quickly. Shock's now giving his position away up close. He's going to fall back. It's more of an A-centric hit, though. It looks like they're going to try and barrel through there, through both Squeaky and Main simultaneously. But this does open up an opportunity for the likes of RPK to quickly wrap around. He's going to stay in position, and once the go is given, he will try and get round the back of the T's. Again, though, I'm getting deja vu. 25 seconds left, and Faze are yet to get on either side. They're yet to really make any moves whatsoever. You've got to start to press forward. They're waiting for this flank through on Heaven. There is a player getting up there right now from Faze, but ZeuwoKCDZ is holding the line. He's holding vents and ventilating as many oncoming T's as possible. Vitality only have 2 more players to deal with, but Faze are going to clutch. Brokey on 2, coldzera on 5, and they take Vitality's choice, 16-11.
They ran it very, very close. 5 seconds left on the clock when they find that final frag. Faze, they ran the risk there. It was very, very tight, but they managed to break the fortress. Vitality unbeaten on LAN in the last 3 months on Nuke. Faze are the first team to do it to them and to take us to Inferno to finish the series.
On what fashion as well. That was winnable for Vitality. They had chances, they had opportunities, but it all slipped and slid away. And as you say, now we're heading to Inferno. We need a break. I'm sure you do as well. But rejoin us in a few moments as we see how this best of 3 concludes.